Hi, this is Mrs. Oakley, and today we're going to look at Unit 3, Lesson 6, Dividing of Fractions. There's three things that I want you to keep in mind when you divide fractions. The first one is this K, the keeping the first fraction the same, okay? Then C means changing to a multiplication sign. So we're going to change it from division to multiplication. And then F. So KCF, not KFC, but KCF, flip second fraction. Okay? All right. Let me show you how this works. Now, I have our acronym or our KCF letters up here to remind me. Now, when we have an improper fraction, a mixed number, we have to make it into an improper fraction. So we have 2/3. Now remember, the K says to keep this fraction the same. Change it to a multiplication sign, and then multiply and add. So this would equal 3/5. Okay? So we took a mixed number, made it an improper fraction. Now we're going to multiply. Okay? Now, notice that these are both 3's. If I take 3 away from here and 3 away from here, makes it a lot easier. I get 2/5. Okay? Now, why is that? Well, let me show you something. I'm going to take this away, act like this isn't there, and I'm going to show you. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 5 is 5. Now, to simplify it, I'm going to divide both of these by 3, right? Sorry, this would have been 15. Dividing it by 3, that would have got me 2/5. So because I wanted to save a step, I saw that I was going to have a 3 on the top and a 3 on the bottom. So I got rid of both the 3's. And then it just became 2/5. All right, let's look at the number 4. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5/4. Change the multiplication sign. 8 plus 1 is 9/8. Flip it over and look at this. Now, here's a little different. I don't have 2 3's or 2 of the same number, but I can divide this number by 4 and this number by 4. So then that gives me 5/1 times, well, 8 divided by 4 is 2. And I bring the 9 over. So now all I have to do is multiply. 5 times 2 is 10/9. Okay, great job. Okay, let's look at this next one. We have 3/4 divided by 1 and 4/5. So I'm going to say 3/4 times 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9/5. But I'm going to flip it. I'm going to say 5/9. Now, can't do anything with the 4 and the 5, but I can divide this 3 by 3. So divide it by 3. If I do it to the numerator, I have to do it to the opposite denominator. So this becomes 3 divided by 3 is 1. 4 stays the same, times 5. Then 9 divided by 3 is 3, which then equals 5 times 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Good job. Looking at number 6, I'm going to make this an improper fraction. So 9 times 1 is 9 plus 2 is 11. Ninths times, changing it, flipping it. Well, I can divide both of the 6 and the 9 by 3. That gives me 11. 9 divided by 3 is 3, times 6 divided by 3 is 2/5. And this would equal 22/15. All right, I want you to pause the video right here, and I want you to go ahead and try this. Okay, so for the first one, you should have said 16 times 2, or 8 times 2 is 16, plus 5 is 21/15. over 8. You should have said 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 is 27 over 4. Flipping that. Now, here's something interesting. I can divide these two numbers, 4 and 8, by 4. I can say divide it by 4. But I can also do 21 and 27 because I can divide both of these by 3. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Times 4 divided by 4 is 1. 27 divided by 3 is 9. And then all I have to do is multiply. So 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 9 is 18. And there's my simplified answer. Okay, for number 10, 3 times 9 is 27 plus 1 is 28. Thirds times. Now remember, when we have a whole number, you just put a 1 under it. So it's going to become 1/4. I can divide this by 4 and divide this by 4. And I get 28 divided by 4 is 7 over 3 times 1 over 1, which gives me 7/3. Okay, 11 and 12. If you did them, that's great. They will be extra practice, but I'm not going to go over them. I want to get into our story problems. All right, so let's look at how we can read a story problem. A container of juice contains 10 and 7/8 cup. If the serving size listed on the package is 3/4 cup, how many servings are there? Okay, so we know we start with 10 and 7 over 8 divided by 3/4. 8 times 10 is 80 plus 7 is 87 over 8 times. Now remember, we're flipping. 4 goes here, 3 goes here. Well, I can divide this by 4, right? And this by 4. I can divide, and then this is a tricky one because it might be hard to see that, but I could divide the 3 and the 87 by 3. So now 87 divided by 3 is, well, let's figure this out. I have 87 divided by 3. 3 goes into 8 2 times. That's 6. Subtract that. That gives me 20. Bring down the 7. So 29, because 3 times 9 is 27. Subtract against 0. So I have 29 over, well, 8 divided by 4 is 2, times 4 divided by 4 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So multiplying, I get 29 halves. Okay, here's another one. I have 10 and 5/6, and I'm dividing it by 5/8. Okay, well, first off, 6 times 10 is 60, plus 5 is 65 over 6 times, flipping the number, 8 over 5. I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to divide it by 5. And I'm going to take 65 and I'm going to divide it by 5. Okay, so let's get that. 65 divided by 5 would be, that goes in there, and it'd be 13 over something. And 5 divided by 5 would be 1. Now, I can divide the 8 by 2. I can divide the 6 by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then all I have to do is multiply. So 3 times 1. 4 times 13. Well, let's see. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So it would be 50. Okay. Now, there are just one story problem here. It says that he has 200 and Mr. Kessler is filling test tubes with a solution to use with his science students. He has 220 milliliters of solution, and each test tube can hold a maximum of 9 1/3 milliliters. How many test tubes does he need? Well, this is where you got to kind of start looking into it. Okay, to do that, I want you to pause the video and I want you to try this out. All right, so you should have said 220, and you should have made it in a fraction by putting 1 under it, divided by 9 1/3, which is then 220 over 1 times, well, 9 times, or 3 times 9 is 27 plus 1 is 28. So this would have been 28 thirds, flipping it, 28. I'm going to divide both of these by 2. Divide over here by 2. Remember, they have to be across from each other, not both denominators in this case. So 222 is 110 over 1 times 3 over 14. I could probably take more out of it, but I'm going to leave it like that for right now. So 3 times 110 is 330. 1 times 14 is 14. Good job. All right, that's the rest of Unit 3, Lesson 6. For the ones that I didn't do on the video, you're welcome to do those and show me those in person on your notes, and I'll go over it with you if you have any questions. All right, I will see you for Unit 3, Lesson 7 in the next video. Head back to Classcraft, and I'll see you soon.